Actually, I lied. Let's see how much.
Yeah, just did. Alright, ready? Ready?
No, not yet. 1 second.
Oh, just let the thing start. Our next night. Alright, ready? Go!
On April 9th, 1865, General Robert E. Lee surrendered at an Appomattox courthouse, effectively ending the Civil War.
It should have been the beginning of a great national healing, a reunification after years of constant fighting.
But instead, one national tragedy led to another.
On the night of April 14, 1865, assassins came to Washington.
Their targets were Secretary of State William Seymour,
Vice President Andrew Johnson,
and President of the United States Abraham Lincoln. This is the story of that night. That afternoon, well-known actor and Confederate loyalist John Wilkes Booth stopped by Ford Theater in Washington, D.C. He was there to pick up his mail, but he also overheard workers saying that General Grant and President Lincoln would be. Booth sensed an opportunity for revenge against the Confederacy enemies.
The plan would include 3 simultaneously attacks. At 10 p.m., Lewis Powell would kill Secretary Seward in his home.
George would kill Vice President Johnson at the Kirkswood Hotel.
And Booth himself would kill President Lincoln and General Grant at Ford's Theater.
After setting the plan in motion, Booth visited the Kirkswood Hotel and attempted to see if Vice President Johnson was there. He left a note that read, "I don't mean to disturb you, are you home?" and signed it with his real name before leaving.
That night, President Lincoln and Mrs. Lincoln arrived at the theater after the play had started. They took their seats in the president box alongside Major Henry Rothborn and his fiancée, Clara Harris.
Play tonight.
A police officer, John Frederick Parker, guarded the door.
Meanwhile, back at the Kirkswood Hotel, George had arrived, but was having second thoughts. Instead of preparing to kick in Vice President Johnson's door and stab him to death, George grabbed a seat at the bar and started a conversation with the bartender. All George seemed to talk about was whether or not Johnson was a good guy.
You think he's a good guy?
Lewis Powell was the youngest of the assassins and unfamiliar with the roads of Washington, D.C., so Booth sent David along to show Powell the way. Harold led Powell to Secretary Seward's door and then slipped into the shout of sway.
Back at Ford's Theater, Officer Parker slipped away from his post to grab a drink by the nearby bar. The guard. Jordan.
Keep going.
John Wilkes Booth arrived shortly after.
John Wilkes Booth arrived shortly after.
His celebrity gave him free access to most of the theater. He began to climb the stairs towards the president box. Climb the stairs. Next.
Stairs.
Oh. At the Kirkswood Hotel, George was still drinking and beginning to get quite drunk.
At the Seward house, Lewis Powell was finding his path obstructed by Secretary Seward's attendant, William Bell.
I got the medicine.
Powell insisted he was there from the pharmacy with medicine for Secretary Seward. Bell said that he didn't believe him. Seward threw Bell aside and rushed up the stairs towards Seward's bedroom.
At Forest Theater, Booth had reached the balcony level. Though John Frederick Parker had left the presidential box unattained, there was a guard on the balcony level. Booth cautiously approached and handed the man his calling card. The guard recognized Booth and waved to him.
Back at the Kirkswood, George was still drinking and now quite drunk.
Oh yeah.
At the Seward house, Powell had reached the third floor and was confronted by Secretary Seward's son, Fenford, who demanded to know who he was.
Who are you?
Powell tried the lie about bringing medicine again. Frederick said he would take
My
it.
medicine. I won't take that.
Powell began to argue, but was interrupted by Seward's daughter, Fanny. Powell pretended to move towards the stairs, but instead drew his pistol and pointed it at Frederick's head.
Let me in.
Booth barred the door to the boxes behind him and quietly made his way towards Lincoln's box. The door was open. Booth slipped in and stopped behind Lincoln and their guest. He raised his pistol.
Powell's gun misfired. He panicked and smashed Frederick's head in the head with the handle of his gun.
Oh God.
Fanny opened the bedroom door again. Powell pushed her to the ground and ran into the room.
At the Kirkswood, George was drunk and losing his nerve. He moved towards the door.
Booth fired a single shot into the back of Lincoln's head. Mrs. Lincoln screamed.
Oh my God. They killed my nigga.
Oh my God. President Lincoln slumped forward and then he fell back to his chair.
I've never seen any of that show.
Powell jumped onto the Seward's bed and began to wildly stab at the secretary. Over and over again, he thrust his knife downwards. The force of the attack carried both men off the bed and onto the floor.
At the theater audience wasn't sure what was happening. Mrs. Lincoln and Miss Harris were screaming. Major Rothbone had jumped onto to detain Booth, but Booth violently slashed him across his left arm. Rathbone stumped back. As Booth tried to jump out the box, Rathbone once grabbed him.
Seward's bodyguard, George Robinson, rushed to pull Powell off the Secretary Seward. Seward's other son, August, ran into the room to help. The three men wrestled over the dagger. Even Fanny joined in.
Throw it off balance. Rathbone. Booth crashed down the stage below. Likely breaking his leg. He raised his dagger in defiance, supposedly screaming,
Lick him up.
screaming out, sick-tempered tyrannus.
Something Tyrannus.
Before attempting to limp off the stage, Booth used his knife to slash Orchard, the leader of Williams Jr.
Get the fuck out of my
Language.
Oh, shoot.
Powell stabbed Robinson and August and rushed down the stairs of the Seward house.
orgies going on.
As he made his way down the stairs, he encountered a State Department messenger, Henry. Pence had arrived during the attack and was moving down the stairs in an attempt to get help. Powell stabbed him in the back.
Booth was limping out the theater and shouted to his horse.
Get the hell over here.
He slammed the handle of his knife into the groom's face and kicked him away as he mounted his horse.
Oh. And whoever you are.
He rode off into the Washington night.
Powell rushed out of the Seward house expecting to find David, waiting to show him the way back. But instead he discovered that David had heard the noises coming from the Seward house and fled in fear. Powell was left lost and alone to find his way through the Washington night.
George left at the Kirkswood Hotel. Left the Kirkswood Hotel. Vice President Johnson rested unmolested and unaware of the events that would soon make him president.
The fuck?
Go to sleep.
George tossed his knife away and wandered off into the
All right, reset back to your starting positions. Let's debrief.